Hello everyone, my name is Teacher Lena and welcome to my channel. I'm an online teacher and my channel is all about my experiences teaching online. So if you'd like to see more videos about my life and journey as a teacher online, please subscribe to my channel. But in this video, I wanted to get a little bit more into my journey as an online teacher. So for this video, I've decided to just peel back the curtain a little bit and just teach from my living room. Not really teach, but share with you from my living room. So let's do something different. Anyhow, talking about my experiences teaching online, what my journey has been like. Well, first I'll talk to you about the why this has been such a great journey for me and what the journey has been like, and then what I'm grateful for. So that's what I'm going to be talking about for this video. So let's get into the why. I think this is a good opportunity for you and why it's been great for me. One, I was a teacher in the brick and mortar school. So there were some things about teaching in the school that I didn't really love. Like one, curriculum. Making curriculum. Like, I mean, there was a lot of curriculum that was actually given to me, but like making the lesson plans and constructing all of that and figuring out each day what was going to have to be done. Well, that wasn't my favorite part about teaching. But now that I teach online, a lot of the companies I work for, they just give you exactly what you need to teach. Every day you just, you enter your classroom and it's already there for you. So that makes it so much easier. And not to mention that, you don't have the meetings that you'd have to go to as a teacher in the school. You didn't have conferences, you didn't have the grading. A lot of those things are eliminated when you teach online. So to think, I don't have to lesson plan, I don't have to travel and spend money in gas, I don't have to buy the whole wardrobe of clothes that I would need to teach in a classroom. I don't have meetings. Did I already say that? And I get to just focus on the students. I mean, wow, that's like a win-win, It's like you drop all the other stuff and you just get to focus on the students. So that's what I love about teaching, is just the interaction with the students, and you can do that with working with ESL companies. That's what you get, and also with other online companies, that's what you get. Now there are some companies you can work with online where you do have to create your own curriculum. So for people who really like that, well, you still get to do that. You can still do that. You can be creative and create your own lesson plans and, create fun stuff to do with the kids and all those things. So there are still things that you can have to teach, to bring from your teaching experience in the classroom and teach online with those. It's not like you're dropping everything, but I'm just saying there's going to be some flexibility in scaling down what you want to do as a teacher in your online classroom. So it takes away a lot of the fluff that you don't really want to have. Then there's the great hourly pay. I mean, a lot of these companies, you can get a minimum of $20 an hour. I mean, that's a great pay to work at home, sometimes with your pajama bottoms on, and then you could still get paid $20 an hour. I mean, it is a nice pay rate. Now you might find that you're at home and you might you might start to feel like you're withdrawn from other people because you lack that same interaction that you get when you are working in a brick and mortar school. If you go to school every day, you get to talk to your coworkers and see them and touch them, but when you're at home, it's a little bit different. So what has worked with me is being able to connect with other teachers on Facebook groups. So you can connect with teachers who are in the same Facebook group that's with a company that you work with, so they can understand the type of situations that you're going through, and they might be able to give you, feedback or answer questions that you might have about that company. So Facebook groups are very helpful to get involved with when you work as a teacher online. So one summer, I wanted to make some extra money because, you know, as a brick and mortar teacher, you get your summers off. So I wanted to make some extra money. So as I was looking, I just kind of stumbled across teaching online with Qkids. That was the first company that I worked for. And I was told, you know, suggested to do this by my sister-in-law, who somebody suggested to her husband, who was a teacher. So I was like, hey, let me go ahead. And I actually Googled it, and Qkids came up, and it seemed like a wonderful opportunity. So I started working with them in the summer of 2018. So now it's 2020, and it's November, the end of November. And so that was 2 years and 5 months ago. And it was so fun. I was like, wow, it's like, you know, the interaction on the platform was like you're playing a video game with the kids. It was so well designed that it was so easy to do. And it was very interesting to learn how to use this new platform and to teach with these children who were half a world away from me. So I was so excited to have this opportunity. I was telling everybody about it, trying to get all my teacher friends to do it too. So I did that for the summer in the morning and sometimes on the weekends too, but mostly in the morning. And then when I started my school year, I continued teaching like 1 or 2 classes before I went to school in the morning. And, you know, I was getting up early before I went to school, but that was okay because I was a morning person anyhow. And I was excited to make the extra money. So I did that. And as I was going through this and, you know, actually looking at different YouTubers on YouTube and seeing what their experiences were like, I was starting to see that more people were doing this full time, not with Qkids, but with other companies. So I started to think, wow, I would love to do this full time. So I started to think, how can I do this? So I took the whole year to teach online in the morning just to see like if this was actually going to be stable. You know, was there anything I needed to consider going into, you know, going through the year? Was anything going to pop up that I just wasn't really aware of? I needed to know these things. I needed to go through the whole year kind of feeling things out to see how it was going to go for me. And not only that, Qkids did not offer me hours that would allow me to teach full time. So I needed to find other companies that I can, you know, teach with also, so I can fill up my schedule and I can have those full-time hours that I needed to replace my income that I was getting from the school that I was at. So there began my hunt for another company. So I looked around, I got a couple other companies under my belt that worked for me, and I did a lot of research with other people who were online and in Facebook groups to see what people were doing so that they could be successful at teaching full-time online. And after I really gained confidence and feeling like I could do this, and after I saw that these companies were stable, it wasn't something that was just going to like end, you know, next year or whatever, you know, I needed to know that this was going to work for me. And I did it. I had everything all set up. I had gotten those companies, and so next plan was to unfortunately leave the school that I had taught with for many years, and my children actually went to that school, so it was not, you know, an easy decision to decide to leave that school because I loved it. I taught there for many years, but this opportunity did show and seem to be one that would actually help me to get more money too, and to teach from home. So I love that idea. So it was the summer after that year, my first summer, I was going to teach online. I was ready. I had everything lined up. I had my companies, and I opened up my slots nice and wide because I became a teacher with Gogokid, and with Gogokid you can have slots open, you know, all through the morning and all through the night. You just can't teach in the afternoon with them when the kids in China are sleeping. So I had my schedule open and I filled it up, and you know, it took a little time to get it filled the way I really wanted it to fill up, but you know, I did it. I was able to do it, and it was wonderful. I loved it. I was working with Qkids, Gogokid, and then later on I added some other companies like Magic Ears. You know, they all work together really well. And you know, and now I'm working with 2 more companies But those I added a little bit later in my journey. So as an online teacher, you are always looking for new opportunities. You're always hearing what other people are doing, and you want to know like what's really going to work for you. You know, what's going to be what is going to be the best opportunity for you. So, you know, I was learning about more opportunities that were going to suit me and my skills and lifestyle better. Then I started working with Blingabc. And Blingabc was wonderful because I was able to work up to getting raises with them. So they told me that I could actually get paid $50 an hour, you know, and since I was going to be doing this for a while, I thought, hey, get paid what I'm worth. $50 an hour sounds like what I'm worth. So I began working with Bling, ABC, along with Gogokid and Qkids, and you know, trying to finagle, make my schedule work so that I could meet the requirements for each company. And Gogokid was easy, and they kind of stayed out of the way. Qkids, I needed to have more of a minimum time amount of time to work with them, so they were a little trickier to work with other companies. But you know, I made it work. I had to work some evenings too, but now I don't do that anymore, because then being in these Facebook groups led me to discover what people were actually getting paid with on Outschool, and my mind was blown. So I learned about what was going on and happening with Outschool right around the time that COVID hit. So I want to take a little time to talk about COVID, because yeah, that really affected teachers teaching online. It was an incredible time. Many students in China started to take classes online, and you know, they were quarantined, and you know, we just felt horrible. If we were teaching the kids in China, we felt horrible for them. You know, I mean, we were glad that we could provide them with more classes, and it helped to kind of break up their time. But at the same time, we felt horrible that they were experiencing something quite like that. But then the sad news hit America too. So what was their plight turned into our plight. So it was strange times, strange times. But for the online teacher, it just changed our world. I mean, it was just crazy. You know, students wanted to learn at home online, and teachers were available to teach online. So everybody was online trying to learn and teach and all of that. So I was hearing some pretty ridiculous numbers of what people were getting paid on Outschool. I just couldn't believe it. So I just figured, well, hey, you know, let me go see what it was all about. And I was pleasantly surprised. I had once before posted a class on Outschool. It didn't do too well, and I just wasn't really in the right frame of mind to really try to get a class started on Outschool and teach ESL online with other companies. I just kind of wanted to focus on one thing. So I had not really focused on Outschool, but now I still had my account, so I figured it's time. It was time. And so I worked on my Outschool classes. I figured out what classes I wanted to teach, what class type I wanted to teach, and I didn't know exactly which classes were going to be popular, so I made several classes. So I was like a class making machine. You know, I was posting classes, I was getting them, you have to get them approved by Outschool, so I had to get them approved. You know, then they posted, I would see how they would do, and so I had all these classes, and then I was able to narrow them down to see what parents and students really wanted to learn and what they were going to sign up for, and I was able to narrow this down. And this happened right around July. So July, I was able to really work on it and think about what was going to happen in September. You know, was I going to be able to continue doing this in September? And so it worked out that I was able to get a following, a good enough following, so that when September rolled around, and some students were going back to school, it wasn't real difficult for me in the transition time. Like, I had a following, I had parents who were still interested in taking my classes, even though some of their kids were going back to school. And because of the age group of my classes, that really did help too. I was teaching young kids, a lot of young kids. So it really helped for my classes to be stable because those kids were going to be home. They weren't really going back to school. So the timing worked out really well, and being able to teach on Outschool really increased my hourly wage by a lot. You know, you can see some of the videos that I've done about what you can make on Outschool, and it's very true, you know. So I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to be able to teach on Outschool. I mean, if you are interested in learning more about that, I have more videos about Outschool, and I'd be more than happy to help you to get started with teaching on Outschool too, and, you know, figuring out what kind of classes you like to teach and all of that. But yeah, Outschool has been just amazing for teachers and for students. I mean, students want the interaction with other kids. They want to have something other than just their basic classes to take. And Outschool provides them with so many types of classes and, you know, a social outlet for them since they're at home so often. And then it also pays the teachers very well. You can decide what you want to price your class at, and you have a lot of flexibility. You make your own schedule. You are your own boss. So it works out nicely. So now I teach with Outschool in the afternoon, and I still keep my classes that I teach to my, you know, companies that are my ESL companies. I teach with them in the morning, and the more that my Outschool classes do well, you know, as they continue to get better and, you know, and grow, then I'm kind of scaling back on those morning classes. So instead of teaching and starting my day at 3 o'clock in the morning, which before, for a while, I was starting my classes at 3 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and, you know, finishing my day somewhere around noon. But now I'm able to scale down and start teaching less. I don't want to let go of my classes with ESL companies. I want to keep the doors open. I want to continue to teach because I enjoy teaching with the companies that teach English to students in China and other parts of the world. I like being able to have that diversity of student, to be able to, you know, have the experience, keep some of my regular students. I enjoy that part, and I enjoy teaching in the afternoons too. So I'm able to teach in the afternoon as late as I want. I could teach really late into the evening, but, you know, I want to kind of condense my day, so I'm able to teach and then be done. Yes, Outschool is doing really well, but I do believe that we need to have a diverse income in this online teaching arena, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to be let go from one company, or if the company just stops giving classes. You don't know. So you need to have something that's active that you can transition into. So yes, Outschool right now is doing really well. And, you know, a lot of the students are still at home because of COVID. But what happens when we're done with this period? Is that going to dry up, and when am I going to need to rely on another source of income? That's why, another reason why I like to keep the door open with my ESL companies, because I know that they're stable and they're always going to be around, and Outschool will be around too. But, you know, the numbers and everything that have happened with Outschool because of COVID, I just don't really know what's in store for the future. So I'm keeping my options open just to see, you know, what happens, and I'm prepared either way it goes. But I will say that being able to do this online has been an amazing opportunity. I'm so thankful that I'm able to do it online because, you know, in a time where a lot of jobs have just dried up, a lot of businesses have gone under because of, you know, having to be shut down, or people just not having the money to purchase things. With all the changes, I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity. Teaching online is going to be around for, it's here to stay. basically. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have the students that I have. I'm thankful that I'm able to teach stuff that I love to teach. I mean, I love to teach my classes. I can choose the classes that I want to teach, and you know, I could choose how often I want to teach and when I want to teach. So the flexibility is wonderful. So that's why I like to share this opportunity and share my experience with people, because if they can do it too and have the wonderful flexibility of this type of online job, I just would love to be able to help others to do it. Because before I had the opportunity, when I was looking for part-time work, or I was trying to find a job that I can teach when I was staying at home with my small kids, I would have loved to have been able to teach online, but this wasn't always around when my kids were small. But for many of you with small kids, this opportunity is wonderful for that, or it's just wonderful for a part-time job, no matter what you're doing. So if I can help somebody have a great experience doing what I do and what I love, I'm very happy to do that. So thanks for watching, and please, as always, I put out videos each week. I like to share my experiences teaching online. If you'd like to hear more videos like this one, please go ahead and subscribe. And also check out the description box, because I have a lot of helpful information for teachers who teach online. I have companies I work for. I have information on how you can get an ESL certificate. I have my things that I use in my classroom. If you're interested at all at finding stuff that I use in my classroom, I leave it all down below. And also, if you have any questions, my information is there too. So please feel free to take advantage, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye. I cannot believe how long it took me to film this video. Did you notice that it was sunny at the beginning and then it turned dark? What a day. It happens.